between who you wanted to be and who you are. The coffee shop smelled like every Tuesday morning, burnt espresso and someone's overambitious cinnamon roll. Behind the counter, the espresso machine hissed and gurgled, punctuating the low murmur of conversations and the indie playlist no one was really listening to. I sat by the window, laptop open to a blank document titled Story Notes, Client Meeting 3 p.m. The cursor blinked at me. I blinked back. 43 years old and still negotiating with blank pages. My fingers rested on the home keys without pressing down. Outside, a delivery truck double-parked, hazards blinking. A woman in a business suit hurried past, phone pressed to her ear. The city doing what it does every Tuesday. Ember? Ember Demir? The voice pulled me out of the staring contest with my screen. I looked up to find a face I hadn't seen in, 15 years? Maya, from the writing workshop, the one where we'd all been so hungry, so certain. She looked different. Not just older, we all were, but different in the way people look when they've arrived somewhere. Tailored coat, leather bag that probably cost more than my laptop, hair cut by someone who knew what they were doing. Even her posture had changed. Straighter, more certain. I glanced down at my own hands on the keyboard. Chipped nail polish, the same canvas tote bag I'd been carrying since grad school, patched twice. Maya, I stood, awkward in that way you are when someone from your past life materializes in your present one. My chair scraped too loud against the floor. We hugged, and Maya smelled like expensive perfume and something I couldn't quite place. Success, maybe, or just a different kind of life. God, I can't believe it's you, Maya said, already pulling out the chair across from me. I'm in town for a book tour. My third novel just came out. Of course it did. That's amazing, I said, and meant it. Mostly. Congratulations. The barista called out someone's order. Double shot oat milk latte. And the espresso machine screamed again. Maya didn't seem to hear it. She was already talking. We ordered more coffee neither of us needed. Maya talked about her publisher, her agent, a film option. The words came fast, practiced. She'd told this story before, probably dozens of times in the past week alone. Book events, interviews, airport conversations. I listened and felt myself splitting in two, the part that was genuinely happy for my old friend and the part that was doing math. 15 years ago, we'd been at the same starting line, same MFA program, same dreams typed out on the same kind of laptops in the same kind of coffee shops, same rejection letters that we'd read to each other over cheap wine, promising we'd both make it. She had made it. I watched her hands as she talked. Delicate gold rings, a watch that actually looked like something, not like the fitness tracker on my wrist that kept buzzing with reminders to stand up. Her nails were done. Not ostentatious, just maintained, like everything else about her. And you? Maya asked, finally. Are you still writing? You were so talented. That story about your grandmother, I still think about it. Were, past tense, as if that person had died. I stirred my coffee. The spoon made small circles, around and around. Outside, the delivery truck was still there, the hazard still blinking. A traffic cop approached, ticket book already open. I'm a storyteller now, corporate storytelling mostly. I help companies craft their brand narratives. It's actually really creative. I heard myself doing it, the slight defensive lift in my voice, the way I was packaging it, presenting it, making it digestible. I was good at that now, making things digestible. My thumb found the edge of my coffee cup and traced the rim, over and over, a nervous habit I'd developed somewhere along the way. That sounds great, Maya said, in that particular tone people use when they're being polite. Really great. She glanced at her phone. A quick check, the kind you do when you're important and people are waiting for you. The conversation shifted. She asked about people we used to know. Did I still keep in touch with anyone from the program? Had I heard about Marcus's book deal? About Jen's residency in Italy? I hadn't. Well, Maya said, checking her phone again, this time less subtle. I should probably radio interview in an hour and traffic is... Of course, go. We hugged again. She smelled the same. I probably did too. Same drugstore shampoo, same anxiety sweat, same coffee-stained ambitions. Let's not lose touch again, she said, already stepping away. I mean it. We both knew she didn't. After Maya left, late for a radio interview, she'd said, I sat with my cold coffee. The blank document was still blank. The espresso machine had quieted for a moment, and I could hear the song playing. Something acoustic and melancholy, the kind of music they play in coffee shops to make you feel contemplative about your life choices. It was working. Through the window, I watched Maya climb into a car. Black sedan, probably an Uber Black, not an X. She pulled out her phone immediately, already moving to the next thing. The car pulled away, and just like that, she was gone. Back to whatever parallel universe she lived in where dreams came true and third novels got film options. The delivery truck was gone too. The traffic cop had moved on. The city kept doing what it does. I help companies craft their brand narratives. When did I start saying it like that? When did the dream become something I defended instead of something I lived? I thought about the stories I told now. They were good stories. They helped businesses connect with people. They mattered in their lay, but they weren't... My hands were still hovering over the keyboard. I looked at them, really looked. The same hands that used to fill notebooks at 2 a.m. racing to keep up with ideas. The same hands that typed Chapter 1 on so many failed novels. These hands had held prizes once. Small ones, student competitions, honorable mentions. But they'd held something. What? What weren't they? Mine. They weren't mine. A couple at the next table laughed about something. The espresso machine started up again. Someone's laptop charger had come unplugged and they were scrambling under the table for the outlet. Regular Tuesday sounds, regular Tuesday problems. I closed the client notes and opened a new document. My fingers hovered over the keys. Somewhere inside me, there were still stories that had nothing to do with quarterly reports or brand positioning, stories that didn't need to justify their existence or prove their ROI, stories that were just stories. I'd wanted to be a writer, capital W, the kind who woke up and wrestled with sentences and lost sleep over whether a character would say maybe or perhaps. The kind who got interviewed in coffee shops and worried about book tours. The kind that Maya had become. Instead, I'd become someone who wrote. Different tense. Different weight. My throat felt tight. I took a sip of cold coffee to push it down. But maybe, and this was the thought that surprised me, arriving uninvited like Maya had, maybe the 23-year-old version of myself, the one who knew exactly who she wanted to be, hadn't known everything. Hadn't known, for instance, that you could pay your rent with words, that you could make people feel something even in a conference room, that creativity didn't have to look like one specific thing to count. The cursor blinked. I started typing. Not notes for the 3 p.m. meeting, something else. Something that didn't have a client or a deadline or a purpose beyond the fact that it wanted to be written. I didn't know if it would become anything. A story, maybe, or just words on a screen that no one but me would ever read. But my fingers were moving, and there was something familiar in the rhythm, something I'd almost forgotten. Outside, the city moved past the window. Inside, I wrote. Not the writer I'd wanted to be, not yet the writer I might become, just someone, on a Tuesday morning, with coffee going cold and words going down. Somewhere between who I'd wanted to be and who I was this, the act itself, the choosing to sit down, the blank page and the willingness to fill it, even if no one was watching, especially if no one was watching. Maybe that had always been the point. I kept writing. The meeting at 3 p.m. could wait 15 minutes. Some things, I was learning, couldn't.